Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy Sunday, December 7th, 2025. How's everybody doing? Somebody let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me okay, please. Just want to make sure on that before we go any further. Steve Steele, hey, back to you. Good to see you, man. I know there's a delay here, so I have to talk and then I have to wait. So, Brian Alexander, good to see you. Lima Charlie from Southern Illinois. Thanks, SBG. Hey, Mitch, how are you? Tim Schlout, how are you? Good to see you also, man. How's your off season going? Been a few months since I talked to you now. Loud and clear from the Mitten Outdoors. Thanks, man. Bob Hunter, good to see you also. So, as long as you guys can see me and hear me okay, let's get this thing going.
Diver, diver, diver.
Sweet, some fishing videos for you in December when we're all wishing we could get out there. Oh well, got other things going on, right? Anyway, let's get going here. Don't really have a topic for tonight. Just sitting here, want to talk some fishing with everybody. I'll do a little fishing report for you, and we can talk about anything you guys and gals want to talk about tonight. Dan, the mattress man, is here, the moderator of the channel, one of the moderators. Dan, as always, it's good to see you. And that reminds me, as always, all of these Sunday night live streams are proudly brought to you by DREAMWEAVER Lures and Smart Troll. Got links for them down in the bio. Make sure to check them out. So what's new, everybody? How's everybody doing? Coming up on Christmas, Thanksgiving is done. Bill Gerlach, good evening back to you. Craig Rao, good to see you guys also. Hey, if you see people on here whose names are in green, they are members of the channel membership. If you want to join that, it is much appreciated. You get some cool perks. The biggest one being access to our private Discord page where we talk about everything. And Dan the mattress man, he's on there as a moderator as well, and he can attest that pretty much everything we talk about on there is a good time. So yeah, if you want to check that out, make sure to join up on the channel, and we'd be happy to have you there. Helps the channel out also. So, Thin Blue Line Fishing, good to see you. Thin Blue Line, how the heck are you, man? Good to see you. Okay, so if you guys want to check out a cool video, check out, help me out here. It's Fishing with Ernesto. I think I believe it's called, and I sometimes get these two channels mixed up. There's Thin Blue Line, and then there's Blue Line Fishing. I get them backwards. Anyway, if you look up on YouTube, Fishing with Ernesto, I think a lot of you watch him already. He's been a guest on the channel here a few times. He and his brother caught a Chicago record walleye here just a couple weeks ago, over 14 pounds. If you want to check that out, check out his channel, check out that fish. That thing eclipsed the old Chicago record by almost doubled it. I believe the old record was like 7 pounds, and this thing was like 14. Insane. Absolutely insane. He's on Facebook also. Make sure to check him out. He's got a great channel. And that reminds me of next week's show that's coming up. Next week we're doing the end of the season wrap-up, where I'm going to have 3 guests on the show that night. We're going to be at the DREAMWEAVER studios talking about the end of the season. The 3 guests are spectacular. All 3 of them you're going to know, so you're going to want to tune in to see that. But we're going to talk about, we do this every year. We'll talk about our best lures for the year. We'll talk about our best spoons, our best flasher flies, our best meat rigs, best plugs. Excuse me. And then we'll break it down to like my top 3 for the year and all of their top 3 for the year also. And we'll break down how we use them, you know, where we use them, when we think about using them, things like that. And it's cool because every year it's different, but it's the same because there's always a couple lures that seem to leak through to every year. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain spoon that I can think of that seems to have been in my top 3 every year. A couple of meat rigs, a couple of plugs. But this year there's going to be some changes. There's some definite changes on the boat this year for me. Some of my, I guess you would call staple mainstays, whatever, they might not be there this year. So make sure to tune back in next Sunday night. Tune back in next Sunday night, and you're going to have a good time watching that show. It's going to be fun. And like I said, the 3 guests that are coming are fantastic. Really looking forward to having them. All right, let's do a quick fishing report, and then we'll move on.
You don't see that every day.
All right, quick fishing report for you. Ice fishing, not here. I guess you couldn't a boat, but there's definitely ice starting to form around here. It's been cold. Anybody that's in this area, Michigan, Wisconsin, Midwest, whatever, it's been cold for sure. Early this year, it's been a pretty good start to this winter. Ice is starting to form, but I don't know of anybody that's even having the stones enough to go try it yet. I hope not anyway. River fishing, if you want to check out river fishing, I'm not going to beat around on this too much. I'm putting out a river fishing report about twice a week now. If you want to go back and just watch one I put out yesterday, if you're interested in river fishing, it's specifically tailored to the big Manistee. But excuse me, it should also give you some heads up on the other rivers as well. So if you want a detailed river report, Huey Merrill, Bear Lake gets 3 inches. Dude, be careful. Be careful. If you want a detailed river report, please check it out. Like I said, I'm going to do those about once or twice a week. Right now I'm doing them twice a week, and I'll see if that continues on. So I'm not going to jump into the river too much. I haven't heard much on pier fishing. I haven't heard much on surf fishing. I don't think anybody's been out doing that stuff. It's getting pretty late in the year for that, even though I do suspect that the steelhead are still coming in. Guys, gals, if something in your area is... if that's ringing a bell to you, if you got some pierhead fishing going on or some surf fishing going on, please put it in the comments. I'd like to hear about it. Guys are in the fishing the shallows in Saginaw Bay. Thanks, Nazar. Appreciate that. And yeah, if anybody else out there has information on fishing in your area, please put it in the comments. That's what this place is all about. We got real good people on here. This is a safe space. Nobody's on here bashing anybody. So if you got information for your area, you want to share it, this is the place to do it. Bill Gerlach, you're over in Minnesota. I know it's been cold over there. Twin Cities has finally gotten the chance to get on the lakes around here this weekend, about 3 to 7 inches, depending on where you go. Hey, that's great. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that heads up. And that actually reminds me of the poll for tonight. Don't forget to vote on the poll if you haven't so already. Tonight's poll question is, what is the most beautiful freshwater fish? And when I was thinking this up, I'm thinking Michigan waters, Midwest waters, things like that. Not like fish tanks and things like that. So the 3 I came up with, brown trout, steelhead, rainbow trout, pretty much it's the same thing. Pumpkin seed or other. And then if it's other for you, put it in the comments. I almost put brook trout in there instead of pumpkin seed, but I didn't think I didn't want to have 3 trout, brook trout, rainbow trout, and brown trout all in that same category. All 3 are beautiful fish. Pumpkin seed's a cool looking fish though. Don't get lazy on the pumpkin seed, There's some really, really beautiful fish in Michigan. So take the poll if you haven't already. Like I said, if that fish is not listed for you, put it in the comments what your favorite looking fish is. Please do that. Walleye. Yeah, Kevin, I hear you, dude. Walleye are gorgeous fish also. I mean, there's so many good looking fish. I mean, lake trout, I think, are gorgeous. Every one of them is different. They're like snowflakes, where every one of them, the coloration and the dots are all different. Splake, if you don't know what a splake is, go ahead and look that up. They're really cool looking fish. Bluegill, cool looking fish. Even a carp to me is a cool looking fish. A sucker is a cool looking fish. They all have really unique characteristics that I think make them pretty beautiful. So Atlantic salmon, Nazar, I hear you, dude. Red ear, yeah, absolutely red ear, Eric. I hear you there too. All of them are great, but let's see what's winning right now on the poll. 34% on brown trout, 31% for the steelhead rainbow trout, and then 11% for the pumpkin seed, and 24% for others. So brown trout, yeah, I've always loved the look of a brown trout. Love the look of a brown trout. One of my favorite eating fish also. I was over in Green Bay. What day is today? Today's Sunday, dummy. I was in Green Bay on Thursday and Friday. I went over there to pick up a vehicle for my daughter. And first off, let me say this to all you people in Wisconsin. You people are some of the nicest people in the world. I'm not kidding. I think I could have jumped around in the middle of the highway waving a Lions flag, and somebody probably would have offered me a ride and probably gave me Green Bay Packer tickets. So, I mean, you guys are so nice. I had such a nice time over there. So thanks for the hospitality, first off. But I got thinking about, I know Wisconsin has some amazing brown trout fishing throughout the wintertime. And I thought, it took me about 7 hours to get over to that area going up through the UP. I thought, pulling a boat, it would take me another hour, probably hour and a half. I'd really like to try getting over there, take the boat around that way, and do some of that brown trout fishing. But I have no idea what I'd be doing. No idea. I mean, I can kind of figure it out a little, but just to know where to go, where to launch, everything like that. If anybody on here has a recommendation for a guide or somebody that might be interested in taking my old sorry butt out for a brown trout trip out of those areas, let me know. Put a comment here, or send me an email, darkbluecharters@gmail.com. I think if I learned it a little, I'd love to take the boat over there and try some of that stuff. So I really had a nice time just hanging out there for a couple of days and meeting people and talking and whatnot. The people that we bought the car from, they were so incredibly nice. They not only gave my daughter a thank you note, they also gave us something called a kringle. I'd never seen it or heard of a kringle before, Kringle. It is a giant, and if somebody knows what a kringle is, God bless you, because I had no idea. It's like a giant pretzel-looking cinnamon roll type, nutty, sugary, gigantic heart attack in a box. It is so good. If you've not had a kringle, check them out. Look them up online. Amazing. Amazing. So darn good. Anyway, the people are so nice. So, anyway. Craig Rao, thanks for the super chat, dude. Appreciate that. Most of them let you do. Oh, hey, dude, Craig, that's fine. I put a super chat goal on tonight. I just made it for a couple bucks. So, yeah, I know it's Christmas time. If you guys want to reach out and help the channel with a super chat, I appreciate the donation any size. So, thank you. Much, much appreciated, man. All right, what else do I want to talk about in the fishing report? I don't have much else than that, guys. Gals, that's about it. Not much yet going on. Port Washington, good for Browns? Thanks, Russ. Appreciate that. Wait till summer, take the Badger. Yeah, Russ, I hear you, dude. It was a much longer journey going around the UP for sure. Without a doubt. SPG, you're jigging catfish in a local river here. Caught a pair of bowfins? Yeah, absolutely. Pretty cool. Northern pike, yeah, Russ. I hear you, dude. Northern pike, great looking fish. How many people we got on here? We got about 80 people on here right now. Appreciate everybody coming on. How about the Lions, everyone? That was a good game. I was a little worried about that for, I don't know why. I always get worried. But that was a good game. All right, let's do the topic of the week. We'll get out of here. You guys all got better things to do. All right, topic of the week. I don't have one. How about that for riveting YouTube content? I don't really have one. So I'm just going to open it up. Burbot. Yeah, Dan, I hear you. Burbot. Just going to open it up. We'll do a Q&A like we do on some of these slower nights. With winter being right now, I got a lot of irons in the fire for sure. Next week, of course, coming up with the end of the season wrap-up, I got a show coming up soon with Jay Wesley from the Michigan DNR. We'll put that together. I'm going to get some more captains coming on here, do some home port areas. That seemed to be pretty popular with everyone. And we'll go over, I'd like to just go back over some of the basics as well. Some spoon tactics, plugs, flasher fly, everything like that. I just like to go back over those things in the wintertime so people stay fresh on that stuff. You know what I mean? Tony Mostello, appreciate the super chat, dude. I'll give you a thumbs up on that. Thank you so much, man. Bill Gerlach, riveting. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Tracy Hegler, thanks for the super chat. Thank you, and you're welcome as well. Really cool of you to do that. Jim Robleski saying, thinking about changing cables to braid on my downriggers. Any idea how many feet I should put on them? Big John short arms. So yeah, Jim, I did the same thing on my big lake boat. I went to braid on my downriggers just because I like the way it cuts the water better, and it completely eliminates any chance of stray voltage getting into the water. Whether you believe in stray voltage being a positive attractant or a negative attractant, I'd rather just take the guesswork right out of it. It just makes it easy. Dumb it down for me, please. Make it simple. So I went with Scotty. Scotty makes a braid for downriggers. Big John does not. But Scotty makes a braid. I believe it's 250-pound test. And I think it comes in either three or 600-foot lengths. And I don't remember what I put on. I believe I put on 300 feet on mine. And that seemed to be fine. Just remember when you do put braid on your downriggers. First, you're going to get better running anyway. You're going to get less blowback. It cuts the water a little better. I think it puts a nice hum into the water as well. But your dials, your line counters on your downriggers, they're going to be off because the diameter on the braid is different than diameter on your cable. So make sure that you make a chart. If you have a fish hawk or a smart troll system, make sure you make a chart so you know where your downriggers are running. Or if you can mark them on your graph, which I can mark on my graph, that way at least you know where your downrigger balls are going to be running, because they will be off. They will be off on the counters. But I like having braid. I like having braid on my downriggers. Yeah. All right, what else am I missing here? What size swivel do I use on my downrigger rods? Does it differ for fishing flasher fly or spoon? Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Size 2 or 3 DW swivels for my spoons. They were great. Twos and threes are probably my absolute go-to all the time on those. For running flash or fly, big rotators or spin doctors, whatever you might be running that way, you want to jump it up to the DW size 6. It's a bigger swivel. DW makes really good swivels. You can go out and you can spend a ton of money on Spro or Sampo, but I don't think it's necessary. DW makes a very comparable swivel for a lot less money. So DW size 6 for any of your rotators. For plugs, I'll still run the size 2 or size 3. And that seems to get the job done just fine. Open Water Mike wants to know, what is the formula for running a 32-pound copper fishing line? So I don't run 32-pound, Mike. But it's a good question. There is charts available. I believe Torpedo has a chart. Morgan's has a chart. Typically for copper, what I find is, and this gets you in the ballpark, what I find for copper is you multiply it by 2 and you drop the last number. So if I'm running a 300 copper, multiply that by 2, you get 600, drop the last number, that last 0, you get 60. So that puts you in the ballpark about 60 feet. Of course, that's going to vary greatly depending on what you're running, but more so on what speed you're running. If you're running faster, your baits are going to come up higher. If you're running slower, they're going to go down a little lower. So get you in the ballpark anyway, like 200 copper. Multiply it by 2, get you 400, drop that last number, and you get 40. So it puts you in the right ballpark. If you really, really, really want to dial it in, and you can do this, I tried this. If you have a smart troll system, you can put the probes on your coppers and your lead cores, weighted steels, whatever you want, and you can. I've done this on up to a 400 copper, so I know it'll read at least a 400 copper. But you can put it on any one of those presentations that you want, let it out, and you can get an exact depth at different speeds. So if you wanted to test your 300 copper at 2 miles an hour, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, whatever, you could actually make a chart to keep on your boat to know exactly where your long lines are running. It's a great tool. It's a really cool tool to have. But that, like I said, I don't know the exact answer to that question, but that should get you in the ballpark. Tony Mostello wants to know where I got that Kringle at. They gave it to me, and the name is on the box. I guess it's like the #1 Kringle in the world. It's so dang good. I should run up there and get that name for you, but maybe next time. Excuse me. Boat across the lake like Mark Romanek did. Yeah, Mitch, not right now. I don't think I'm going to do that. Nazar, not sure why your name changed to your YouTube name. No idea, Nazar. YouTube does some funny things sometimes. Phil Quinn, have I noticed the difference between since the switch? I assume you're talking about braid on my downriggers. Yeah, absolutely. Like in a positive way, negative way, not so much. I believe it catches a few more fish. But for me, it's more just peace of mind knowing that it's one less thing I have to worry about, like stray voltage going in the water or anything like that. So I think it does pick up a few more fish, though. Good question, though, Phil. Paul Schmuckle's on here. Good to see you, Paul. How you been, man? Brian Lennon wants to know net preferences. There's some good ones out there. You're really not going to go wrong with a Ranger or a Beckman. Both of those are going to do just fine for you. I run Ranger hoops, and mine are 36-inch hoops. And I have Ranger handles. Mine are 7-foot long fiberglass handles because the boat's big enough to handle that. I've run Ranger collapsible nets before. I've never run a Beckman, but I fished on boats that do have Beckmans, and I know they're good nets. I don't think you're going to go wrong picking out one of those nets from one of those companies. Go to a shop, though, and take a look at them. Kind of figure out what it is you want. Everybody's a little picky on things, the way, some want an octagonal handle, some want a smooth handle, some want collapsible handles, some want bigger hoops, some want smaller, some want rubber, some want nylon. Mine are not rubberized. I've had bad luck with rubberized nets before. They're nice most of the time to be able to get a hook out, but I'll tell you what, once you get a hook through that rubberized material, you almost can't get it back through. And you're almost going to need to cut that hook off there. So there's pros and cons, but it's really a Chevy Ford Dodge kind of thing. Go try some out and see what it is you like to do or what you like. Excuse me. Still coughing stuff up from that cold almost over a month ago. Mitten Outdoors, gear ratio on reels for trolling. What application would it make the most sense to run high-speed gears? I was thinking about downriggers. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, all of my long lines, at least I think all of them, I would say 99.9% of them are all high-speed reels. I like them because it lets the people catch up with the fish. If you're an experienced angler, if you've been on a lake a long time fishing salmon, you may not need high-speed reels on your long lines. You can control the fish. You can feel. Fighting a salmon is a feel thing. And it's really hard to coach people into it if they've never done it before. You can give them the basics, but really it's a feel thing. You can feel when they're loading up. You can feel when they're slacking off. You can feel when they're starting to give up a little. You really start to figure that out as you're fighting that fish. If you have inexperienced people on the boat, a high-speed reel is a great tool, because if that fish all of a sudden makes a run at the boat and you start getting slack, you can have that person catch up with the fish pretty quickly. It's a nice tool to have. So really, it's what you want to do, what your boat's experience level is. I do like having high-speed reels on also, because at the end of the day, bringing in 400 coppers and 450 coppers and 300 coppers, it's nice to have that high-speed reel, so you're not cranking and cranking and cranking like the old Pen 209s, where it took me 17 days to get in a 10 color. Great reels, slow, really slow. So pros and cons here. I have high-speed reels on my divers. A lot of people I know tend to stay away from high-speed reels on my divers. I do it for the same reason. I like people to be able to catch up to fish quickly if they need to stay tight on fish. Really helps land more fish, I think. But it depends on, like I said, on your experience level, your boat's experience level, your cruise, things like that. Excuse me. So, good question, though. Really good. Downrigger? Yeah, I have high speed on my downriggers. That was the number one thing you asked. Same reason. You pop that downrigger and you want to get tight on that fish as fast as you can. My thing is, I reel on that reel before I even take the downrigger rod off the downrigger. As soon as I see that thing pop, I grab that, I reel up till it's as tight as it can be, then I take it out of the rod holder. So you're instantly, or you're quicker to get tight on that fish. High-speed reels help you to do that. Now again, I'm going to get people on here that disagree with me, and that's fine. I fished on boats both ways. High speed, not high speed. And whatever works for you, works for you. That's just the way I do it. Craig Rao, thanks for all those thumbs up, man. Appreciate that. Hey, Green Bay 1. Glad to hear that, SBG. That actually helps us out a little. All right, what am I missing here? Ken Brescia, thanks for the super chat, dude. I didn't see that come across. Thank you, though, very, very, very much. All right, what else I got here? Bill Gerlach, try to hit the like button if you can. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. It does help the channel. If you do nothing else to help the channel, hitting the like button is a big thing. Do you have flea issues using the braid on your downriggers? Yeah, Joe, I do. But it's not terrible. It's certainly manageable. If you start getting sea fleas on your downrigger cables, all I do, or on your braid, if you're running braid for your downrigger cable, all I do is I just pinch the cable as I'm bringing it up, and it cleans the fleas right off there. No problem. If it does get up on the reel, it's not a big deal. With the Smart Troll system, SBG asking, with the Smart Troll system, is there a tablet brand type style that interfaces better than average with Smart Troll? I don't believe so. It's a good question. I picked up my tablet. They have to be Android, I'll say that. They're not compatible with anything other than Android. Mine was a Lenovo 8-inch. I got it on Amazon for like 70 or 80 bucks a couple years ago. I saw the same one on Amazon not long ago, and the price was considerably higher. So I can't really say you're going to find one super cheap right now. It seems like everything's a little more expensive. So, but no, I really can't say there is one. If you really want the answer to that, call Daryl at Smart Troll. He'll be able to answer that for you, no problem. Early Bird Adventures, love running with pump handles. What your grandpa showed me, and I don't have a single focus rod. Yeah, absolutely, Early Bird. If that works for you, use it. Yep, a lot of people I know. It seems like pump handles is more of a thing over in Wisconsin than it is in Michigan. I don't know anyone over here that runs pump handles. I know quite a few do in Wisconsin. It's a good technique if you figure it out and you can figure out your depths. Yeah, absolutely. Tony, your Kringle was given to you? Yeah, no doubt. Bob Hunter saying Beckmans are heavy. Good to know, Bob. Appreciate it. I had no idea. Like I said, I fished with them before and I never really noticed the difference, but thank you. Down go the Bears. Had a feeling that was going to be a good game. Scott Creek, shout out to KRW Flies for the Black Friday sale and bonus gifts. Because KRW Flies, this is my go-to flies. You guys know me, I'm through and through. I mean, you cut me open, I'm probably going to bleed Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver has great flies. They have like the fly of all time in the pickled sunshine. But I run a ton of KRW Flies. If you want to see which ones, tune in next week when we do the end of the year wrap-up. You're going to see what one's working for me this year. All right, what else I got here? Matt Madsen, Nova tackle rods and wire rods. Are the guides all stainless or do they have inserts? They are all stainless, Matt. Good question. I ran Nova tackled rods on everything last year. All my long lines, my divers, and my downriggers. And they are fantastic rods. At a really good price point, too. The quality you're getting for Nova at their price point is what you would probably pay. It would if the same quality was in another company, you'd be paying double. That's what I'm trying to say. The quality is there at a much lower price point. So, really, really good rods. Asher, yeah, Splake. I mentioned Splake early. Beautiful fish. Yep, they're cool looking fish. If you don't know what a Splake is, look it up. Google's your friend on that. They're cool looking fish. Craig Rao, the new people on the boat reeling the longest lines. Give them the best experience. Yeah, that seems to happen. Or you can pull the old trick that me and my first mate like to do at the end of the day. When we're getting ready to pull all our lines, we as a joke, we do this like every time. We'll grab a long line, it's normally like the 400 copper, and we'll give it a couple times. We'll go, oh, I think there's a fish on here. And the person will start reeling it in. And then we normally stop them before we make them pull the whole darn thing. And there's never a fish on there. Not never. There sometimes is, but hardly ever. We do that all the time. The Hoosiers beat the Buckeyes? No way. I didn't check that score, Brian. Is that true? Hold on. I got to ask Siri. Ohio State score.
Which sport? Basketball.
Football.
Ohio State lost to Indiana in the Big Ten championship.
What?
Yesterday.
No way. Go Indiana. Heck yeah, man. Nice job. Doug Fraley, thanks for the super chat there, my friend. Good to see you on here also. Bob Hunter's saying, someone asked, what do you like better for winter steelhead, beads or spawn? Depends on what they're hitting on, Bob. You know that as well as I do. Like last year, for the majority of my winter, it was all beads. It was all 8 and 10 millimeter beads, soft beads, Nova soft beads. I had a couple that were just going off all winter. But then there was like a 2-week stretch. Like the beginning of that stretch, I went out there and I could not get a bite on everything that I'd been getting bit on. I thought, what the heck is going on? So I tied some spawn on, like you do. You know, you change it up. You adapt as you're going through the steelhead gear. And instantly started getting bit on the spawn. So listen to what the fish are telling you. Don't be afraid to run a bag bead combo. You know, put a double rig out there with a bag on it and a bead. See what the fish want. That's a good question though. Sometimes it's all spawn. That's all they want. Mitten Outdoors, you're welcome. Just saw that. Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Kim Brescia, good to see you on here. You've been busy with stock trout. Cool. Glad to hear it. Do people have confidence, generally speaking, running non-glow flasher flies, spoons, or other non-glow stuff at night? SPG, that's a fantastic question, man. So, as the sun's going down or you're out early in the morning before the sun's up, is it applicable to run non-glow lures? Yeah, absolutely. I would say in the morning, 70% of our gear is glow. You got to have some glow out there anyway. But I'm telling you what, I have had stuff out on my center downrigger down past 100 feet before the sun's even up. Non-glow things on there. Non-glow fly, non-glow flasher, and it must be pitch black down there, and it's gotten bit several times. They can see things that we can absolutely cannot see. Sometimes I think lures can glow too much. I mean, you take the old school moonshines, you glow that thing up for a long time. You put your light on there and really glow that thing up. I dump that thing out in the water, and I can see, I mean, it's like it's a lantern going out through the water. I think sometimes you can have a little too much glow on things. So I like to mix it up when it's dark out, either early morning or late. When it's getting to where the sun's going down, I don't pull every one of my lines and put glow on there. I do quite a few. I mean, I'll probably pull out 60% of my gear, put the glow stuff on. But I do keep stuff on that does not glow. Spoons that don't glow, plugs that don't glow, flasher fly, meat rigs that don't glow, they stay out there, and they will get bit. So, have a mix. Definitely have a mix. I mean, if they're only biting the glow stuff, you know what to do, right? If they're only biting the non-glow stuff, you know what to do. Listen to the fish. Good question, man. Leroy Dowding from Purple Taco Fly Supply is on here. Good to see you, Leroy. When are you coming up here, Leroy? We'll jump on the river together, man. Let's go fishing when you get up here, okay? How are the steelhead numbers this season? Not bad, but not, and it's not the numbers so much. It's not the fish so much as it is the conditions right now, I think, Leroy. The conditions have not been really conducive, and I think we talked about this maybe last week or the week before, whenever it was. It's more the conditions holding the fish back, I think, more than anything else. I know there's still fish in the big lake waiting to come in. There are a bunch of fish in the river. I don't think there's as many fish in the river as there was last year, though. And that all has to do, I believe, with the river conditions, the low water, the slow water, clear water, all those things. Keeping a lot of those fish out. But the fishing is still pretty decent. Good question, though, man. Jim Robleski, scamming? That's a good-looking fish if you're talking about the pole. Yeah, they're great fish. Excuse me. I know I'm missing some things here, and I apologize. Early bird, I'm from northwest Wisconsin. Fish mostly Superior and Little Michigan. Kayak fish the Salmonorama, but my Christmas gift to yourself is a membership to you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, early bird. That's nice, you dude. Brook trout, another vote for brook trout from Doug Fraley. Good looking fish, Doug. No doubt about it. As a weekend warrior non-charter guy, what would I recommend for the Nova wire rod from Dave Suzma? You're talking about Dipsy diver reels. I mean, if you just want bare bones, solid, gets the job done, pretty reliable, pretty accurate, the Akuma Convector is a good starting point. If you want to spend a few more dollars, the Akuma Cold Water is a nice upgrade to the Convector. If you really want to go high end, excuse me, the old Shimano Takotas were fantastic. If you got old Shimano Takotas, they're great. The newer ones, I'm not that impressed with. But if you really want to go high end, a Daiwa Saltis line counter, size 40, size 30, or size 40, it's going to get you there. Depends on what you want to spend. But you can definitely get out there and fish a wire diver rod with just a Convector. It's going to do okay for, especially if you get your drags upgraded from Mascot Reel Services on Facebook. If you get your drags upgraded by Scott, you're going to be doing a lot better with any reel. Period. Except for the Saltus. That's the only one he doesn't upgrade. Is that good? Scott Argensing, you're on here. I just mentioned your name. I looked down and you're on here. Good to see you, Scott. And Scott, you can talk about that a little more if you want to. Drag upgrades. What you would, Scott, you are like the real guru, so what you would recommend would be wonderful as well. Yeah, Leroy. Yeah, come on up, man. Whenever you come up, we're going to hit the river together. Joe Kresnick kind of mirroring what I was talking about a little while ago. Yeah, thanks for your input, Joe. I appreciate that. Anyone, your input is always welcome on here. I am not the best. I don't believe in the best. I don't think anyone's. I think anybody can be the best on any given day, but I'm always looking for other people's opinions on things. The minute you start thinking that there's nothing left to learn is the minute you should quit. Eric Taylor saying, trick for your glow lures, use a black light? Yeah, definitely. Use a black light to lightly charge the lures, and use a camera on your phone to have an idea how the fish see the lure. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Eric. Not a bad idea at all. But yeah, if you want to charge your glow lures quickly, black light is the way to go. Ken Brescia, is there any steelhead in the small in the little manistee? I don't know. I have not fished the little manistee. Couldn't tell you, Ken. Yep, Eric Taylor, they don't like a super bright lure. I agree with you. Early Bird said you started tying some of your flies based on some of my videos. Thanks for watching the videos. And your best fly last year was one of your own customs. I'm glad to hear that. That's cool about fly tying. When you come up with a recipe that actually goes out and catches fish, let alone be your best producer, heck yeah, that's cool. Excuse me. Joe Kresnik, anyone have updates on the new fishing bill? No, I don't, Joe, and that's why I'm looking forward to having Jay Wesley onto the channel here in a few weeks. It'll be after the holidays, I'm sure, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of answers on that. So, should be interesting. Should be informative too. All right, let's check the poll here real quick. If you haven't taken the poll, I got almost 100 votes on there. But if you haven't taken the poll, please do so. Don't be a fool. The poll question for the week is, the most beautiful freshwater fish is, and I gave you 3 options, then the ability to name your own. So, brown trout, rainbow trout, or pumpkin seed. Like I said, I almost want brook trout also, but those are your 3 options, and then the 4th option is put your own favorite down in the comments. So, 41% rainbow trout, 31% brown trout. I put those 2 right together. Absolutely. 9% pumpkin seed, and 19% was down in the comments. I saw a lot of people voting for brook trout. I agree. Good looking fish. Walleye, pike, muskie. Nobody named muskie. I can't believe nobody said maybe somebody didn't. I missed it. Muskie are a cool looking fish. The different strains, the Great Lakes, the tigers. Really cool looking fish. I went muskie fishing one time in Wisconsin. I pulled the boat over there. I might have told this story before. Never muskie fished before in my life. I never caught a muskie. I'd love to. Anyway, pulled the boat over there. We had a little. It was supposed to be a cabin. It ended up being like a trailer on an island. Supposed to be an excellent muskie lake. I'm not going to say where. Good walleye in the lake. So anyway, I get there and I go to the bait shop. I say, hey, I want to try to catch a muskie. What do you recommend? And they gave me a couple of recommendations, and I said, cool, and I bought them. I went out to the lake and went to the spot that they recommended, and there was a couple other boats there, so I was like, yeah, it's probably a good spot. And I started checking these big old baits out there, doing the things they told me to do, watching other people. I'm trying not to look like an idiot, probably failing at that, but trying to catch a fish and not catching anything. Stayed there, moved around that area a couple, 3 hours. I watched this father and son come out, this like 12-foot tin can rowboat with an old trolling motor on it and a 2-stroke on it, spitting smoke out like a chimney. I could hear the thing coming before I could see it. And here they come, and the young guy, he had to be 10, 12 years old. He gets up on the back end, and he has a lure on there, probably the size of, this cup right here. And he chucks that thing out there, and it was probably the 2nd or 3rd cast. He nails one. And he's fighting it, the dad's like, hey, dad's not even paying attention really. Dad's like, hey, good job, So they must have done this 1,000 times. Kid fights it, they net it, they look at it, they put it in the boat, and away they go. Leaving me standing there, with all this gear and fancy rods and everything. I felt like such a schmuck. So, oh well. That's the way it goes. Okay, let's wrap it up here. I've been yakking too long. All right, we'll end the poll right now. If anybody's got a question, throw it out there real quick. Otherwise, we'll get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for being here, though, this Sunday. Make sure to come back next Sunday. Like I said, end of the season wrap-up. It's going to be a good show. I've got 3 people coming on. It's going to be informative. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to tell you who they are. It's going to be a surprise, but you're going to know who they are. Excuse me. All right. I'll give it about 30 seconds here before I turn this thing off, because I know there is a delay. And again, thanks to everyone for being on here. Dan the Mattress Man, thanks for being here. Scott Argetsinger, thanks for being here. Leroy Dowding for Purple Taco. And to all of you for being here, especially all those names in green that support the channels by being members. Thank you. Much, much appreciated. Great show as always. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. Let's wrap this thing up. Have a good week, everyone. Be safe. I will see you back next week, 7 o'clock.